This week, I'm going to talk about two extremes. I'm going to talk about lowball private investigator prices, and I'm going to talk about making pretty decent money, really, a six-figure business for that matter. Hi, this is Larry Kaye with ShadowAnyone.com. I'm the creator of the Investigator's Ultimate Guide series, premium private investigator training from somebody who's been there and done that. The been there, done that part, so crucial again this week because I've been there. I've seen the dangers of lowball private investigator prices, and I've built a six-figure business. So this actually comes to me out of the mailbag. An investigator has asked me to comment and talk about lowball prices. And I think his struggle is not that he's having lowball prices, which will kill you, but others around him or newcomers to the industry. Problem with lowball prices, twofold. Number one, you're really not making enough money to keep yourself in business. It kind of looks like you are, but you're not. And at the end of the year, when you fill out that profit and loss statement for do your taxes, Schedule C, when you really look at that, there's a reality check for you there. And you'll realize I wasn't charging enough, or I didn't. More likely, what you're going to say is I didn't get enough business. What I need to do is lower my prices to get more business, and that's not true at all. If you charged more, you probably would have been able to turn a decent profit with just the business you had. But if not, yeah, get more business, but charge what you're worth. Charge a decent amount. The other side of that lowball thing is you are killing everybody else around you, all the other detective agencies, because while you're slowly driving yourself out of business, you're driving down the prices and hurting them as well, and they're going to continue to pay for that long after you're out of business. The other side of that, not the lowball PI price, is that you're doing okay, or you feel like you're doing okay. You've built a six-figure business. Everybody online loves to talk about they've built a six-figure business. They've got a six-figure business. Six-figure business, that's $100,000 a year in revenue or more. Okay, nothing to sneeze at. I'm not turning down 100 grand from anywhere, but it's really not as much as it sounds like. Again, just because you build out 100 grand or maybe even collect 100 grand in accounts receivable doesn't mean you get to keep 100 grand. You've got expenses. You've got to pay your annual licensing fee with the state. You've got to pay for insurance to keep your license valid. Even if that's not a requirement where you are, get and have decent insurance, for crying out loud. You'll be glad you did someday. But you have all of these expenses: database services, internet access, phones, advertising or marketing one way or another. There are plenty of expenses associated with being a private investigator. And to think because you build out 100 grand, or are these people who brag online, I have $100,000 business. I'm not impressed, to be honest with you. I've done it. And maybe that's why I'm not super impressed by it, because I know after you pay the bills what's really left, and it's a lot less than 100 grand. Let me tell you that. I will share with you this: charge a decent price and focus on marketing. I mean, you got to have the skill set, right? I say this over and over again. You really do got to be in the top 10% of private investigators, and I think any field you're in, you got to be in the top 10% to be making decent money. You could maybe squeak by for a while, but man, being mediocre, that's a rough way to make a living, and it's not going to last. Be good at what you do, and then do some marketing. Be good at the marketing side of it. The years 2008 and 2009, that was the global recession, the Great Recession, the worst economic turn since the Great Depression. Those were six-figure years for me. I was pulling in that 100 grand plus a year in revenue. Again, you don't get to keep all of that, but how in the world, when everybody else is flopping and twitching and struggling, was just little old Larry, just me, and occasionally I'd have a couple employees working for me, but that really more of an expense, just gave me some time off, gave me some breathing room. How was I able to do that? And it was the marketing. It's the marketing I teach in my latest book, How to Make Money as a Private Investigator. And it just works. And even if you don't like the idea of snail mail, that's not what everything is about in there. those elements translate whether you're doing social media, blogging, however you prefer to reach out to clients or promote yourself. You got to have the elements I teach of, a strong headline, a big promise that you're making what's in it for them. You got to have a good offer. You have to structure what you're offering in a way that you actually get their attention and keep it until they take the call to action that you have for them. Make sure you have a call to action. Just handing out your card to lawyers or something, that doesn't mean anything. What do you want them to do with it? Maybe on the back of your card you have, like I have over at shadowanyone.com, I have a free report. If you want to be a private investigator, give up unless you do these three things. That free report is over at shadowanyone.com. Maybe you want something like that on the back of your business card. Maybe call now for free consultation or something like that. What are they supposed to do? You've given them your contact information, but you've not given them a reason to call you. Are you just hoping that they realize they need you? That's not going to work. So combine being a good investigator with good marketing skills, and it's work. It's hard work, but you can get into that six-figure business, and that's not the end all be all for sure. But it's certainly a lot better than scraping by offering low prices and trying to get clients who end up being terrible cheapskate clients who have unreasonable expectations for what to expect from you. If you have any questions, you can shoot me an email. You can drop them in the comments below, whatever's easiest for you. In the meantime, this is Larry Kaye with shadowanyone.com. Remember, do the right thing, even if it's the hard thing.